Hello there, Colin Yearp, Head of Training. I'm an ex-gas fitter and plumber for over 40 years, and I want to give you 6 hints and tips for the Surestop today. Tip number 1, let's make sure we can isolate the water before we install our Surestop. Let's make sure we can turn the water off at your stopcock, or you may need to isolate it outside in the road. But before we start anything, guys, let's make sure, can we turn that water off? Tip number 2, when we are installing our Surestop, let's make sure we have the appropriate cutting tool to ensure that we cut our pipework nice and neatly. We don't want any burrs, we don't want any rough edges that could foul our joint. Okay, so our next tip is to make sure our blue hoses, which are pushed home firmly, are also not kinked. If they are kinked, potentially the flow rate can stop. So make sure you have your hoses in a good, clear position. Tip 3 is when you're installing your Surestop, make sure you're aware of the flow direction on your unit, and when you're installing it, make sure the water is passing correctly. Okay, so the next tip is to make sure that your water pressure is under 10 bar. If it's not, we would recommend you install a pressure reducing valve to control this. Okay, so our next tip is to make sure when we're installing our blue hoses to our unit, make sure they are pushed home firmly, are right inside the bodies. The same with your switch, make sure the hoses are pushed home firmly there. If you don't do this, there potentially could be a leak, because as soon as you put the water on, the hoses become live. Okay, so there's our 6 quick tips. If you have any further questions, make sure you get onto surestop.co.uk and our customer service reps will get in touch with you. Thank you for watching.